Hello, everybody. This is Renee, and I am with Reformation Body Solutions here in Los Gatos, California. And today I get the opportunity to talk about a subject that I'm very curious about. And we're going to be talking about the power of essential oils. And I'm going to introduce you to Tara Hamilton. She is a distributor for Young Living essential oils, and she is also a nurse practitioner in Austin, Texas. So hello, Tara.
Hello.
Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with the essential oils.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I am Tara, like Renee had already introduced me. I live in Austin, Texas with my husband and my 4 kiddos. I'm going to see if I can get this right. I have an 8-year-old daughter, Olivia, a 5-year-old son, a 3-year-old son, and just a year-old baby. So we're a little busy around here, but I, as well as being a full-time tamer of wild children, I am also a nurse practitioner, like Renee mentioned. And I've been a nurse practitioner my entire career. I love it. I obtained my Bachelors of Science in Nursing from the University of Texas in 2004 and got my master's degree, Masters of Science in Nursing in 2009 from the University of Texas Medical Branch, and have been a practicing nurse practitioner since then. I actually work within a network of hospitals in Austin. I thoroughly enjoy it. And I've always been kind of a Western medicine-minded person. I grew up using Western medicine, knew really nothing about kind of integrational holistic practices. I was obviously trained in Western medicine. I currently practice Western medicine, so there's just Western medicine all over the place. And I literally knew nothing about holistic medicine or the natural world. That was until I had a need. And I was desperate for a non-medicinal alternative. My now 5-year-old son, Hudson, when we were introducing dietary foods, had a horrible flare-up, a skin flare-up due to an allergy to a food we were giving him. And it took us a long time to figure it out. We did a bunch of elimination diets, and he had full-blown skin condition with blistering, bleeding, the whole 9 yards. And it took us about 18 months to figure out it was citrus fruits, of all things. Oh, and wow. So, yeah, I know, super bizarre. They had him on pretty high dose steroids, orally and topically. And just knowing what I know about high dose steroids, especially in a 9-month-old, it was just not a long-term option for me. So I started doing some investigation, came across essential oils, and initially wrote them off because my Western medicine brain just didn't want to go there. And eventually came back around to them and decided to give them a try after much, much research. And got them in the mail, decided on Young Living because honestly, it's hands down one of the best essential oil companies out there. And so got my oils in the mail, whipped up my potions, as my husband would call them, and lathered them all over his body. And he was free of skin issues at about 3 weeks later. And we used this cream during flare-ups through the remainder of our elimination diet and trials, and it worked like a charm. So it kind of blew my mind. I started then really looking into the science behind oils because I was just witnessing so many tangible ways they worked in our family, and I wanted to know. I'm a show me person, and so I needed to have the research. And as I started investigating more, I could not deny the benefits that essential oils provide any longer. So we grew from using our oils for one use to using them for almost every single use in our home. So they radically changed our family in countless ways. So I love educating people about them.
Well, that's awesome, and we're gonna go through some definitely different topics today on what essential oils are, how to use them, how they affect all of your can really change your chemistry and help you in a very natural and holistic way. Before we get started, if you are on the broadcast, first of all, tell us where you're from. Hello, Melissa. I love Melissa. She is from Red Cliff Pharmacy in Medicine Hat. I don't know why I have such a problem with that. Medicine Hat, Alberta. And she is an awesome coach. So If you're out there, tell us where you're from, where you're listening from. If you have questions along the way for Tara, please put them in the comments. And also, just following this broadcast, Tara is going to be live and talking about essential oils. And so please join her. All you have to do is type in more in the comment section, and it'll send you a link to her next broadcast and also how to contact her and her website. So just type in the word more or yes, and it will send it to you. All right, I see that Dee is online. She says she cleans their scale with the essential oils in their clinic. I love that. All right, cool. Okay, so Tara, let's just start with, what are essential oils?
Right, that is the magic question. So essential oils are the lifeblood of the plant. They transport waste and toxins out of the plant and transport nutrients in. It helps with nutrient absorption within the plant itself. It regulates the production of vitamins and enzymes within that plant. It helps the plant's immune system function. And it also protects it from environmental threats. And the really cool part about all these things is that it does the same things for our human bodies. And so it's really interesting how we can pull that lifeblood from the plant through a process called distillation and put all the active goodness into a bottle and use it for ourselves medicinally. And also, just like we're talking about a second ago, cleaning things, cleaning scales. It's a really great plant-based cleaning alternative where you can kind of ditch some of those toxins from your home. And so, yeah, when you pull these little chemical constituents, and that's just a really fancy name for a molecule that's in there that dictates how an essential oil will work within the body, because they go to different areas and work on different parts of our body. So the constituents themselves are made of a fat layer, a lot like our own cells in our body. And so our body can recognize them and actually utilize them like they should be utilized. They can deliver oxygen to organs and tissues. They can optimize our cell function. They can clean our cells and tissues, optimize nutrient intake, kind of all the same things it does for that plant. So they basically work to balance and support our existing body system. So essential oils themselves are not supplements. That's kind of a common misconception about essential oils. Young Living does make and produce supplements, but oils themselves are not. They just work on our God-given glands and tissues to make them work appropriately. So, because we damage them through diet, like we were kind of pre-ideal protein, we damage our body with just all kinds of things. And so these just help heal our body in a natural way.
Okay, so we were talking earlier about I'm getting a little feedback. Sorry. So we were talking earlier about how you incorporated how you were dieting at one point, and then kind of how you have incorporated them way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I used essential oils, like I said, initially kind of medicinally, but they're a really, really great adjunct therapy, especially to your lifestyle, because ideal protein is a lifestyle, especially as you go through the phases, but even through the transitional phase where you kind of work in your own normal diets and things like that. So essential oils really are a lifestyle, and I love that about them. There are things, I've had 4 babies, and so I've needed help in the weight department pretty much the last 8 years of my life. I'm also a very emotional eater, and so I have needed support emotionally through essential oils. And that's something that's really neat. I'll kind of touch on first about essential oils. They can offer some really, really, really powerful emotional support. And you get that through aromatherapy. So there's 3 ways you can use oils. You can smell them, and they get right into our brain, into our limbic center. And the limbic center is basically responsible for a lot of behavior. We store our memories there. A lot of our hormone regulation comes out of there. So it's a very important part of our brains. And it's really only accessed through the smelling system or the olfactory system. So it's a very powerful way to kind of touch into that area and help with regulation of multiple things that happen within our body, like emotional eating. And I used oils to kind of help address that emotional eating, especially as I was in the early phases of my diets and things like that. So yeah, it was a really, really great way to kind of help with those emotions, because essential oils are very great at dealing with kind of calming the body. There's some really great blends for that. So like vetiver, orange, lavender. A lot of people know about lavender. There's a blend called Stress Away that Young Living sells that is phenomenal. They really work on anxiety, which is helpful because when our bodies are in that kind of stress reaction with anxiety, it's very hard to lose weight just because of the cascade of hormones that fall out from those emotions. And so dealing with those emotions is a very vital part of this whole process. They work well for trauma. They work well for anger, depression, especially. There's a lot of cool clinical studies coming out about aromatherapy and depression specifically, especially with the use of lemon and lavender in those areas. And then they're great for kind of despair when, especially during those lifestyle changes. I mean, we can all kind of have that despair moment. And they're great for self-esteem. I use them a lot for self-esteem. So it kind of helps heal a lot of the emotional components that especially we face with eating. So I used them a lot in that regard.
So how did how'd you incorporate them and use them for your emotional feeling? Like, how did you do that?
Mm-hmm. So I did a lot of aromatherapy because emotions are really touched when you utilize the mechanism of aromatherapy. So smelling the oils, you can hold the bottle underneath your nose and take some deep breaths. The deep breaths themselves will help calm you. I use them a lot during meditation, things like that, just diffusing in the air. I put them on my body so I can smell them as well. So you can also apply these oils topically. And when you apply them topically, you can reach targeted areas of your body. We'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about skin support in a little bit, because they're very, very helpful in supporting our skin. And so applying those on location is really great. You can also ingest essential oils, which I did a lot during my diet because they can help things like boost metabolism, boost your metabolic rate. They can have an effect on appetite suppression. They can help stabilize blood glucose levels. And so I know Ideal Protein deals a lot with blood glucose regulation, but it's also kind of when you're adjusting to the ideal protein phases, you can kind of use it as an adjunct support in the meantime to help with blood glucose regulation, things like that. So when you're talking about diet, I would ingest a lot of these essential oils. And so in this class that I'm going to offer right after, we'll go into details about that because there are some controversy surrounding ingesting essential oils. And so I would only ever recommend ingesting Young Living because I know they're pure plant. And then we'll talk about how to do so safely. But they're very, very potent. I will say that. So always start low and go slow, especially when you are introducing your body to essential oils for the first time. So just use a little amount and also kind of space out application intervals just to make sure your body's going to tolerate everything.
So let's talk about the brand new dieter that was going to be going into ketosis.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to have cravings. What is
You cut out on that last part, Renee. I couldn't hear you.
I'm gonna reset my sound and camera. So what I'd like you to talk about is as someone is going into changing their diet and changing their cravings, what just that they use and how they use it.
Yeah. So during especially ketosis, you're going to want to make sure that you're supporting kind of the natural digestive enzymes that happen within your body. And digestive enzymes are just molecules that help with the digestion of carbohydrates, fats, sugars, and proteins. And so there are certain digestive enzymes you can use. I did use a lot of those to kind of help my body get into a rate where they would burn those efficiently. Also, I used essential oils to stabilize my blood glucose level, because that will deal with a lot of those symptoms that you're going to have, especially in the beginning. The cinnamon family is really great for that. So like cinnamon bark, there's a essential oil called Akko tea, and you can just put a drop of those in like a lukewarm tea and drink them during periods of kind of the cascade of symptoms that happen when your body's transitioning into a ketotic state. So just kind of managing those symptoms through essential oil use. And then fennel is also really, really great at kind of priming your digestive system and getting optimal nutrient absorption. So what you are eating, you want to make sure you're absorbing the optimal nutrients through that food. And so getting the gut healed. There's a couple different essential oil blends that work specifically on gut lining to kind of heal inflammation and damage that's there. Because when we have unhealthy guts, we all know that's the gateway to the body, right? And so we want to make sure our guts are healthy and in prime kind of position to help with nutrient absorption and digestion. Because, and even so in the same vein, we know that the gut, 80% of our immune system is in our gut too. So just by changing things that we do with our gut, we can pretty much change our whole physiology in our body.
Absolutely, and I'm a big advocate of that. And so I hope. Sorry guys, my feedback is just ridiculous tonight. I don't know. I don't know why. So we'll try to reset one more time. Okay. But in the meantime, let's talk about hormones. Estrogen, thyroid, metabolism support.
Great. Yeah. Hormone support, as you probably all know here, being in the Ideal Protein program, that hormone support is very important, especially when you're looking to address weight issues. Women specifically, as we age, we run into a lot of hormone issues, and I know that myself. So the endocrine system is where kind of our hormones originate from. And this is just a system of glands that are responsible for the production and the regulation of hormones. And hormones are just little chemical messengers in our body that stimulate specific tissues and cells into action. So they'll control a majority of the body's functions, and so like growth, development, reproduction, metabolism being a big one that they regulate, sleep, which we all kind of run into issues with, especially as we age, tissue function, our bodies just aren't the same, right, anymore as we age. Hormones have a big role in mood, and so we want to make sure hormone in our body, levels of hormones in our body are normal, and that our body actually knows how to utilize the hormones that are there. So supporting your endocrine system is huge. And so how you can do that, essential oils are very, very powerful when it comes to optimizing gland function so that you have a normal production of hormones. So we'll talk mainly, since there's a lot of women in this group, about something called estrogen dominance. And estrogen dominance occurs for many reasons. It occurs because we have exposure to synthetic estrogen in our foods, in our environment. It also happens naturally as we age. Our estrogen levels, they go down, but not as quickly as progesterone levels go down. And so they're kind of a counterbalance to each other. And we really have to worry about both of these hormones. So most women, especially in their 30s and 40s and as we age, do not have a normal amount of progesterone in our body, which is a reproductive hormone that we're all supposed to have. And so essential oils are great at addressing these issues. These are where we kind of enter the supplement world of essential oils. They have some blends specifically one's called Progessence Plus, and it is a natural progesterone that you can apply to your skin. So you do a couple drops on your forearm daily, and you rub it in. And I will say that I've been following my own progesterone levels closely when using this because that's the kind of person I am. And starting out, I basically had a very low level of progesterone, and my levels have trended naturally up with the use of this supplement. And so it's not a synthetic hormone, which is kind of a very important thing to think about when you're talking about hormone replacement is synthetic hormones versus more natural based hormones. Our body just knows how to use natural hormones more efficiently than synthetic hormones, especially with all the cancer things they're finding now of, kind of estrogen triggered cancers. They're seeing more of a response with synthetic hormones. So it's just something when you consider hormone replacement, you should really think about getting kind of a more natural hormone replacement, and oils can offer that to you through the progesterone they use in Progessence Plus is pulled from a wild yam. And then they also have an estrogen supplement too that can help kind of your glands produce estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. But they're also going to do it in kind of concordance with where your body should be. So it won't pull you out of menopause, of course, but it will help with some of those symptoms to give you kind of where your body should be according to age. And so you won't get a full hormone replacement through something like this, but it'll be a great adjunct to treat those symptoms that you're having.
Do you work with a doctor to help you figure out how much essential oils to be taking?
Absolutely. So a lot of Western medicine trained physicians aren't really versed with the use of essential oils. So I've noticed a trend recently approaching functional medicine doctors are more in tune with kind of the natural replacements that are happening. And if you find a physician, I totally recommend doing this under a physician's care always, especially before you change anything or do anything or add anything. Always discuss this with your healthcare provider. But if they are willing to be open to letting you try some of these supplements, which I found several in my area that will, and it's really fascinating to watch, doing some quote unquote clinical studies with them, watching as we use these types of supplements, and it does raise these hormone levels naturally. So it is something that we follow. It's something that when you're under the care of a physician, they will often follow because they view it in the light as hormone replacement. And so they're going to definitely follow those levels. And if you're using it, I would recommend that too. You can tell a lot from symptom changes. I noticed that my progesterone level was rising before I even went and got it tested. But it is something to definitely keep an eye on.
Great. So these are things that you want to work closely with your doctor.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about essential oils that you would use for sleep.
So sleep, that's the big one. Essential oils work wonderfully for sleep as well. They actually get into that limbic center that we were talking about earlier, and they kind of trigger your limbic center to produce its own natural melatonin, which our bodies respond much more readily to our own natural occurring hormones. And so it's a really fascinating, they've been watching kind of the release of melatonin when you take certain essential oils like cedarwood or lavender or vetiver or even valerian will go up to that limbic center and start to work on producing your own natural melatonin, which will result in deeper sleep cycles. It'll keep you asleep longer, which is very beneficial. So smelling those oils is going to be key to get to that limbic center. So diffusing them by your bedside at night. Mm-hmm. You can also apply them topically by taking a drop of lavender or cedarwood, I would recommend, and kind of massaging your temples or the back of your neck before bedtime. You can also apply them to the big toe. That sounds kind of funny, but essential oil application, we often use traditional Chinese acupressure points to apply them to the bottoms of the feet. And the brain is the big toe. And so that's where we apply our sleep oils to the big toe. That way it gets to that limbic center to start your own natural melatonin production. Another useful thing when we're talking about sleep is stopping the racing mind, because women especially go to bed and think of our to-do list at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is really amazing, right? So I often use just calming oils if I do happen to wake up in the middle of the night and I got that racing mind going, and it definitely helps. Peace and calming is a really great one to use to put you back to sleep. You'll just want to apply these to the back of your neck and temples and smell them. If you need an extra boost in the middle of the night, it provides well. Vetiver and orange mixed together is another really great combination you can be using for these types of patterns if you notice yourself running through your to-do list in the middle of the night. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about skin.
Yes. So skin, I, having 4 babies, had quite a bit of skin issues that I have personally addressed with essential oils. And it is a big team. We have a large team going in Austin. And so I've seen a lot of really cool testimony come across our team as far as using them on skin has just improved skin elasticity. Because we all have, as we lose weight, our skin becomes just less firm because it was filled with with organs and fats before. And so essential oils work very well to firm skin back up. Young Living actually sells something called Sea Light Magic or Massage Oil. I call it magic. Sea Light Massage Oil. And it has a base of oils that have been proven to help with skin elasticity, which are things like grapefruit, is a big one. Cypress is another great one. All the fir oils are really great at firming. Ledum, which is a natural single oil, has been great with cellulite reduction and skin firming. And so I've seen a tangible difference. Essential oils, you're going to have to use them consistently because they are volatile compounds, which just means they evaporate. Also, when they get into our systems, our body uses what they need and then flushes it out. So consistency is going to be key, especially in the skin area as you're looking to really improve elasticity or get rid of stretch marks. You're going to have to use these little potions on the daily, but they work phenomenally to help firm back up skin, get rid of stretch marks.
Are you dropping the essential oils into a body lotion, or how are you applying it?
You can. So I recommend just using a coconut oil or a lotion that doesn't have a high chemical base. When you pair essential oils with a chemical product and leave it sitting there for a while, like if you pre-mix a batch, the chemical and the essential oil will start to kind of react together and degrade both of those compounds. So I either recommend using just a pure vegetable carrier, like a coconut oil, or almond oil is really great for the skin. And Young Living also does sell massage oils and lotions that you can use as a base to add these essential oils to, or they even sell this cellulite skin firming cream as a product within Young Living. It's called Sea Light Magic Massage Oil.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a queen of cellulite.
I know, I am too. And it does with consistent use. It took me about 2 or 3 weeks to notice a tangible difference, but with consistent use, it is continually resolving. So it's really great.
I'll definitely be checking that out. So,
yes.
If you guys have questions, please put them in the comments section. If you would like to hear more about Tara, and if you'd like to jump on to her broadcast, all you have to do is type in more and just put that in the comment section. And again, I apologize about the feedback. I'm not sure what's going on tonight. You get 2 of me.
I know. I love it.
Okay, so Tara, in closing, give us all of your best tips for incorporating specific essential oils for weight loss, and how we can just better understand this.
Yeah. So my takeaway is kind of what I touched on in the end part of this last part of our conversation is it is a lifestyle, a lot like your ideal protein plan. It is something that you need to use consistently. And so when I come across people who will tell me essential oils don't work, or I've tried that, usually it comes down to the product that they're using, whether that just not be a quality essential oil, or kind of different application techniques, like they're not using the correct application technique, or they're not using the correct oil to address what they're looking for. And then the other thing would just be they're not using it consistently. A lot of the oils, like stress oils, are a one and done kind of thing. And so it will definitely decrease your stress level with one or two exposures to the essential oil. But if you're looking to boost metabolism, to work on skin, to work on hormones, things like that, it is an investment you're gonna have to make to kind of get it consistently going. But once you do, if you consistently use these products, you will notice a tangible difference. So I will say, give them a good old college try. Also, I recommend just kind of working them into your routine. I say that by putting a couple drops of essential oil in your water when you're having sugar cravings, when you need appetite suppression. Throw some peppermint in your water. It works really great to help the digestive system too. So a neat part about a lot of these essential oils is they work in multitudes throughout your body. So you're not just addressing one thing, you're actually helping to balance body systems through using them consistently. And just look into their products. Young Living has a wonderful lineup of plant-based products. We were talking earlier about scale cleaning. They have a wonderful leaves line that will help you eliminate toxins from your home. Because toxins, as we know, a lot of them have known endocrine disruptors, which mess up our hormones. And then they also have carcinogens, a lot of these over-the-counter cleaners and things like that. And so really look into what you're using in your home, because it is damaging your body over consistent, repeated exposure. And there's alternatives out there. Young Living actually carries a wonderful line of alternatives for plant-based cleaning. They also do a lot of skincare. So just, I'd recommend just picking one area first, because it can be overwhelming. So if you're really looking for weight loss support, ping me and we'll just tackle that one area first and then kind of branch out from there. But yes, they are a vital component to life, in my opinion.
Well, if you guys want to hear more, Tara's going to be jumping on in about another 15 minutes and going to be live on her own event. All you have to do is type in more into the comments section and you will get a link to her event. And you can even watch it later in the replay, just like this. And again, Tara, thank you so much for joining us and for being a part of our broadcast. And as a clinic owner, it is something that I'm looking into and would love to talk to you more about. And on that note, we do have a group that is just for clinic owners. So maybe you and I can brainstorm just a little bit more and talk to each other about that. So it looks like I may have lost, we're having a tough time with connections tonight. So everybody, thank you so much. Say hello, tell me where you're from, and share any thoughts. But I will talk more with Tara about possibly doing some things for our clinics that will give us more information on specifics and how to incorporate them into our clinics, and how to work specifically with dieters that are having cravings and emotions and thyroid issues and stress, and how to naturally balance our bodies. So thank you everyone for being here, and see you soon.